Hello and welcome to my talk on the topic When to say what and how, adapting the elaborateness and indirectness of spoken dialogue systems. This article has been published in the Dialogue and Discourse journal in the beginning of the year. I would like to start with a short example. If I want to tell you that you should not smoke in this room, I can do it in different ways. The most concise and direct way is, do not smoke. However, this sounds very harsh and commanding. Depending on the situation and the person to whom I talk, I would prefer to say it in a different way. This is a smoke-free building. Thank you for not smoking. This is more elaborate and gives some background information, namely that the building is smoke-free, which is the reason why you should not smoke here. It is also much friendlier and not as strict as do not smoke. If I'm talking to my friends, I would perhaps like to say it in a more humorous way. If I see smoke around you, I'll assume you're on fire and drench you with water. This is more indirect and my intention is somehow hidden, but my friends, who know me and my sense of humor, know exactly what I want to tell them. An even more indirect possibility, which I would probably never use myself, but which I saw on a train in Japan, would be the following. You carry a 700 degrees Celsius fire in your hand with people walking all around you. Here the intention is hidden. The conversational partner has to infer that walking around with a cigarette is bad, hence he or she should not smoke. This example shows human communication is more than words. When exchanging messages and meanings with others, people use strategies in their choice of words to achieve some purpose. They do not only focus on what they say, but also on how they formulate it. In this way, a core statement that is always the same can be expressed in different ways. This applies both to written messages such as the signs, but also to spoken messages. The goal of this article was to investigate if it is possible to carry over insights from the usage of communication styles in human-human interaction to human-computer interaction. Building upon a long history of communication research for human-human interaction, we have investigated if the used communication styles of the user and the system influence each other in human-computer interaction. The main contributions of this article are as follows. We gave a comprehensive overview over the general field of communication styles literature for human-human interaction and an introduction to interactive adaptation for human-human and human-computer interaction. Moreover, we analyzed the correlation between user and system communication style in human-computer interaction on a multilingual dataset. Based on the result, we present a communication style classifier that automatically identifies the user communication style using supervised learning and a communication style selection module that selects an appropriate communication style of the system response, also using supervised learning. Due to the shortage of time, in the following I will focus on these topics. The first research question was, is there a correlation between the communication style of the system and the preceding communication style of the user? In order to analyze this, we have created a corpus based on recordings on healthcare topics containing spontaneous interactions in dialogue format between two participants. One is taking the role of the system, while the other one is taking the role of the user of that system. Each dialogue act has been annotated with the two communication styles, elaborateness and indirectness. Using this corpus, we have analyzed whether the communication style of the speaker who assumed the role of the system is correlated to the communication style of the speaker who assumed the role of the user. The results in terms of Spearman's rank correlation coefficient ρ for both the elaborateness and the indirectness can be seen in this table. All results are significant at the 0.01 level, which shows that there is a significant correlation between the communication style of the system and the preceding communication style of the user. Based on this result, we have then extended the standard architecture of spoken dialogue systems by two new components to demonstrate the principal usage of communication style adaptation within a spoken dialogue system. The first one is a communication style classifier to automatically estimate the user's communication style during an ongoing dialogue. The estimated communication style can then be used in the dialogue management to adapt the system behavior to the user. The second one is a communication style selection module that selects an appropriate system communication style. It is part of the dialogue management so that it not only decides what is said next, but also how. Both problems were framed as classification problems, and we have pursued a neuroclassification approach for both tasks. We used a multi-layer perception classifier with one hidden layer. The classifiers have been trained and evaluated with a tenfold cross-validation setting on the corpus that we have also used for the correlation analysis between the communication style of the system and the communication style of the user. Grid search has been used to find the best set of hyperparameters and to take account for the imbalanced data during the grid search optimization. The unweighted average recall has been used, which is the arithmetic average of all class-wise recalls. Moreover, we did a comparison of different feature sets. Here are the results that we have obtained. For the user communication style classifier, we reached an unweighted average recall of 84% for the 3-class elaborateness, 59% for the 3-class indirectness, and 76% for the binary indirectness. For the system communication style selection, we reached an unweighted average recall of 63% for the 3-class elaborateness, 50% for the 3-class indirectness, and 68% for the binary indirectness. Let's summarize the results. When combining both components presented in the scope of this work, the spoken dialogue system is enabled to recognize the user's communication style and select an appropriate system communication style. So far, we have evaluated both components separately, and the results have shown that each module yields solid results. In future work, it would be interesting to integrate both components into one specific spoken dialogue system and conduct an overall evaluation of the system with real users. In this way, it can be verified whether the objective evaluation carried out as part of this work corresponds with the subjective evaluation of potential users. Thank you for your attention.